As Ukraine liberates more of its territory from Russia, what does this mean for Vladimir Putin?
He could retrench and regroup, building up more defensive positions on land that he currently holds. That might involve retreating from some areas, but it would make it easier to defend, resupply and possibly attack from the territory that he holds. But his biggest problem is manpower and morale amongst his troops on the battlefield. What can he do about that? How does he replenish those forces too? He could call for a full mobilization, or probably more likely a partial mobilization, because a full mobilization, calling all Russia's young men into the fight, would be politically extremely risky. Even then, a partial mobilization, though, would take some time to retrain his reservists, and he doesn't have much time right now. That is the fear, and Vladimir Putin has made it clear time and again how big and powerful his nuclear arsenal is.
Войска начали поступать первые образцы бронетехники на унифицированных платформах. Армата.
Still, using a nuclear weapon is quite the Rubicon to cross, and he would have to feel that he'd exhausted all other options. Russia's nuclear doctrine clearly states that it can only strike first if the security of the state is at risk. Now, the rhetoric that you're hearing increasingly on state TV is that this whole operation is to defend Russia against an aggressive West, an aggressive NATO out to annihilate the Russian state. But still, it is quite a stretch. And there's nothing to say that the use of a tactical nuclear weapon would be the definitive game changer on the battlefield. This is a police state where the security services hold civil society in a straitjacket. It is very difficult to conjure up any form of resistance in Russia right now. You just have to hold up a blank piece of paper and you can be detained. It may well be that there are factions within the elites who aren't that happy with what's going on, but they're keeping a pretty low profile for now. It would seem that the man in the Kremlin is sitting pretty sweet. It's an unlikely scenario, but anything is possible. The question is, who would succeed him? And when many here in politics have grown up in a system where power is secured by the security services, you might just end up getting more of the same. Vladimir Putin has not lost a war that he's been directly involved with during his time in office. Chechnya was eventually brought into submission after a long and brutal campaign. The war in Georgia ended in a matter of days after Georgian forces retreated. And Russia's intervention in Syria to prop up Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad turned the war in his favor, and he's still in office. So will Ukraine buck that trend? Vladimir Putin probably thought that Ukrainian forces might retreat in the way that Georgian forces did. He was wrong about that.